Hey, what's up? It's Josh from the Dialed In Hunter. Today we're going to be talking about rangefinders, and specifically one rangefinder in particular being the Vortex Diamondback HD 2000. So Vortex recently redid their lineup of rangefinders, and I was lucky enough to get my hands on the Diamondback to test out. And so far I've had it on a couple spring bear hunts, and I've been impressed with it, man. The thing is fast, it's been accurate. And I'm just going to kind of go over some specs for you and then tell you what my overall experience has been with it after the fact. So when you buy this rangefinder, it comes in this cool little case. You get a case with it. You get a lanyard. It comes with the classic CR2 battery. So you're going to be ready to rock right out of the gate. This is the rangefinder right here. Super durable coating on it. 2 buttons on the top. You have a menu button and a measure button. This is a 7-power rangefinder, so you still get like that wider field of view. I am a dude that likes to glass a little bit with his rangefinder, particularly when I'm spot and stalking, so that 7-power is great. Lets me kind of peer through trees and stuff and try to see an antler before a deer sees me. I actually just did that on a mule deer hunt. I'll drop a link down below for that, but that's how I found that deer when I was stalking it. Was I used my rangefinder to glass. So a 7-power rangefinder is fantastic for that. You got a clip right here to go on your pocket or whatever. I usually carry this in a bino harness in a case. The name Vortex Diamondback HD 2000. Okay, that 2000 stands for it can range reflective targets up to 2,000 yards, rocks and trees and such up to 1,800, and animals at 1,400. Okay, personally, I have ranged rocks. I think they're being conservative with those numbers. I have ranged a rock at 1,926 yards on a recent spring bear hunt, and I did it over and over again, and I got the same reading time and time again. So this thing can reach out and touch stuff a long distance away, which is super helpful. If you're like bow hunting and stuff, I use my rangefinder a lot from a glassing spot to kind of like, I'll range where the animal is, maybe range a rock behind that animal, potential shooting positions, to see, oh, the animal's at 800 yards, but that rock behind that deer is at 850. Now I know that's going to put me within bow range. So that's one of the cool things about having a rangefinder that really reaches out there and touches stuff. This rangefinder has a couple cool features that I think are super useful. There is line of sight mode, HCD or horizontal component distance mode, last target mode, and then scan mode. Okay, so line of sight mode is exactly what it sounds like. It's going to give you the line of sight to whatever you're ranging, and this really comes in handy with aiming at angles. I did a video on this a little bit ago to explain how shooting on angles works. Basically, what line of sight is if you're on a cliff, this is a cliff, and you're standing here and there's a deer here, line of sight is from you to the deer. You do not want to aim for line of sight, okay? The thing that's cool about line of sight, though, is if you're a person that actually carries a cut chart with them, you prefer to do that. You've tested this out. It's to your exact specifications, and you really trust that. Line of sight mode is what you want to be in, because line of sight mode is going to tell you this distance, but it's also going to tell you the degree of angle. It's going to display the degree of angle for you in the digital readout. So then you can just hit the deer with the rangefinder. Oh, it's 44 degrees. Refer to your cut chart, see what you need to cut off, make a great shot, and load up your backpack with meat. So that's line of sight mode. HCD mode, horizontal component distance mode, is basically angle compensated mode. Okay, so let's go back to the cliff. You're on the cliff, you're up here, deer's right here. This is line of sight. The angle compensated mode, you want horizontal mode, is going to be the distance from here to the deer, or from here to the deer. It's the horizontal distance from you to whatever you're aiming at, okay? That's the distance that you want to aim for when you're shooting up or downhill. You do not want to aim for the line of sight distance. The cool thing about the HCD mode is it does the cut for you. So it's not going to give you this, it's going to give you this. You're going to make a great shot. Again, you're going to load up your backpack and come out heavy. So the next mode is, the next feature is scan mode. So super cool, you know, especially if you're a spotter. All right, if you're sitting there with a buddy, you know, he's behind the gun, you're watching a deer, you know, deer's kind of feeding around and you're trying to get constant ranges of the deer. All you're going to do, you hold down the measure button as you're scanning with the deer, and the rangefinder is going to continuously give you readouts of the ranges as the deer changes its range from it to you. So super handy for being the guy, you know, trying to call out ranges for your buddy so he makes a good shot. Scan mode is where it's at for that. Lastly, there's last target mode, okay? So I can see this coming into handy, spot and stalk bow hunting. Say you're spot and stalking mule deer, you know, you're crawling through the grass, mule deer standing there. You don't want to fully like reach out, you know, and get above the grass to range the animal. You throw this in the last target mode. The laser is going to shoot through whatever's in front of it and hit the last thing in its path, okay, being the deer, which means that you don't have to get totally out and expose yourself, you know, out of the grass to range the deer. You can stay low, range through the grass, and as long as your reticle is on that deer, that's where your laser is going to hit. You're going to get the accurate range you need, and you're going to make a great shot. My experience with this has been overall very positive. I love how it feels in the hand. It's small. It fits really good in there. It's quick. The first thing I noticed when I took this out of the box was I went to the archery range and I was ranging, you know, several mountains and stuff around me at the range, and I was like, holy crap, this thing is really fast. Like, it's almost instantaneous. Whether you are ranging 40 yards or you're ranging 900 yards, you hit the measure button and it is boom, like right away you get the readout in your rangefinder. So was very pleased with that. I took it on a Idaho spring bear hunt this past spring, and it was wet on that hunt. So it got a hell of a water test and never stopped working for me. So very impressed with that. I've never really had an issue with any Vortex rangefinders, you know, failing in the weather. So they've always been really good. It didn't fog up either. That was another cool thing. The clarity of the glass is great. Their HD optical system, and then they have their red OLED system, which is going to help out for low light situations. I had this past spring, I shot a bear. It was last light. He came in and rangefinder did great. 30 yards downhill shot. So was using the HCD mode and just absolutely pinwheeled the bear. Thanks to the rangefinder. So really cool. So nothing's perfect, right? Everything has a downside here and there. This rangefinder's no exception to that. So the biggest downside for me, and I don't know if you really call it a downside, it's just something that I hope Vortex maybe does in the future with future rangefinders, is really all with the layout, the digital readout inside of the rangefinder. Because when you're in HCD mode, horizontal component distance mode, all you see, okay, you got your reticle and you range, all you see is the distance that you need to aim for, which is great. It puts you right there. You're gonna fill your tag. Everything's gonna be good. However, it would be kind of cool along with that in the angle compensated mode if it also told you some nerdy stuff like, oh, the degree of angle was 34 degrees and the line of sight distance was this, and then give you the angle compensated mode that you need to aim for. I think that would be really cool. Just more of like a personal thing, you know, it's not anything that's going to hold you back from success or anything, but something that I think would be cool in the future. All in all, I think this is a fantastic rangefinder, fantastic bang for your buck option. It does everything you need it to do, and it comes at a price point that is affordable. So I'll leave links for everything down below. If you like the channel, please hit subscribe. If you like the video, please hit thumbs up. And until next time, stay safe out there. I gotta go bear hunting now.